If you missed part one of the series, I'll fill you in quick. For the past few months, I've been working on my basement bathroom design and renovation, and as of last week, it is all done. Hey, what's up YouTube? My name's Angorabuilds. I'm an architectural technologist based out of Western Canada, and I model buildings in 3D for a living. I also stream about home design and DIY work on Twitch. I absolutely love doing DIY and renovation work, but one of my favorite parts about what I do is the contrast and comparison between what we had planned in the design phase and what actually got executed. So this is the existing bathroom, or was. This was the design that we planned for the bathroom, and if you want to see how it all manifested, stay to the end of this video. We'll do a final reveal there. Part one of this video covers the project context and why we had to renovate the bathroom, the existing space, what we were working with, as well as the design phase, what we were planning, what we decided to do, what finishes we picked, everything like that. Part two, today, we're going to talk about the actual construction phase, and we'll do a cost breakdown as well at the end. So the budget that we had for this project was around 2,500 Canadian. I wanted to keep it as below that as possible. I want to stress that I don't intend for this to be a renovation tutorial video. This is merely a showcase of DIY problem solving as we ran into hiccups and pivots and the design logic that we used to work around those issues. If you notice that I have done anything wrong in the construction phase of this video, I want you to call me out in the comments because I'm here to learn and to grow, and I want to be the best DIY renovator that I can be. So let's get started on the demolition phase. So the demolition phase was super quick. We finished it in just one night with having two friends over, pretty much got the whole bathroom torn out immediately right away. I was super nervous for how bad the mold and water damage behind the shower was going to be. To my surprise, when we ripped it out, it actually wasn't that bad. It's hard to tell, like, it doesn't look that
well, the vapor barrier is ripped too.
Oh,
the framing looks good.
Framing seems good?
Yeah, it's black there though.
Yeah. Crossing our fingers though, I hope that the subfloor under here is not too terrible, but we might be in for a surprise. I think the hardest part of the demolition process was honestly taking this shower out because there was so much that was siliconed and just adhered with glue and stuff. It was really terrible to rip off the wall. Oh my god, did they install it on top of... Oh, they had shitty linoleum in here at one point.
Yeah, so it looks like it was leaking here, and then it's leaking all around here.
I can't believe that they just used spray foam underneath the shower pan. Maybe this was the correct way to do it at one time. But yeah, if we let this air out overnight and then go at it with bleach tomorrow. I'm gonna explain what we found here in this bathroom demo. And hopefully you can hear me, the fan is going, so I'm gonna talk as loud as I can. Couple things that were a little bit surprising. So the shower that was here in this space was leaking. It was causing a lot of water damage on this corner and this corner. This corner, hands down, looked the worst. And this corner, we didn't think there was any water, like we saw some water damage, but we didn't really think it was that bad because the extent of the damage on the trim was so minimal. We were expecting all of the remediation work to have to take place on this side. What we found when we demoed this tray, we always thought that it was the shower doors and a terrible caulking job that was the cause of the water damage. But when we demolished it, we actually found it was not the shower kit joints, it was the drain. The drain here was not properly connected. Whoever did this shower work did not connect this with the proper seals, and so it was leaking and traveling across the subfloor and pooling in these corners. So sort of a good thing, I guess, because we will actually install this properly. We bleach treated this whole area last night, and we'll continue bleach treating this over the next couple days just to make sure that we really get all of the mold that was built up here. The extent of the mold damage was not as bad as we were worried that it would be. This side here is actually surprisingly where most of the damage is, and we didn't expect that. I don't even think that this is, like, I think there's mold here, but I actually think a lot of this is just water damage. This is not a load-bearing wall at all. The frame doesn't even touch the floor. It's more so just there as a support for the concrete cement board backing so that when we finish the wall, it has something to adhere to. We just need to support cement board. For how good the rest of this looks, I don't know if it's necessary to like cut this out and reframe this whole thing. We'll kill the mold, we'll mold treat it, we will let it dry out over the next week, assess the damage just to see. One more update, okay. When we were designing this room on stream, I was intending to salvage this wall and this wall paneling because, like, to be honest, like it's kind of like it's fine. It kind of got a little gunked up with the demos here. We're gonna be redoing this plumbing here and installing PEX instead of the copper piping just because we have it exposed now. It's the best time to update it. But when we demoed the T-bar, we realized how they had installed the T-bar system was directly into the studs behind the paneling here. Now we're thinking it's not a lot of wall. We might take a crack at drywalling. Because, I mean, if to practice mudding and taping, these walls are not big. This is such a small room. There is probably only going to be one joint on this wall that we have to practice on. And then I think for this wall and like this whole side, we can kind of just like hide the joints above the door and just finish this properly so that it looks nicer. Construction is just like design on the fly. It's the adaptive design phase, so we'll see how this manifests. I'll update decisions as they happen. While we were demolishing the bathroom, I made a point to take a closer look at the vanity that we were gonna keep. We talked on stream about painting it a really nice color. We were actually going to paint it the same color of our van cabinets because we already had overstock paint on standby, so we wouldn't have to buy any more. It's a really nice color. I think they're great. But upon closer inspection on the existing vanity, it's this kind of plastic finish almost. I just didn't really think it was worth the effort to repaint it. You know, you make compromises where and how you can.
If we're not doing the same type of vanity light, this whole thing's gonna have to move.
We don't have one yet. Okay, I'll search on, well, let's look on Marketplace tonight maybe and see what our options are. So after everything was removed from the bathroom and it was completely bare, while we were doing this demolition work, we were also doing our product and finish acquisition at the same time, starting to stockpile all of the things. The wall tile that we ended up buying for the bathroom ended up being much thicker than I had planned and anticipated for. When the bathroom was empty and demolished, I did measure everything in the space that we were working with and redid math based off of the thicknesses of the cement board, the thicknesses of the tile that we actually bought. And I came to realize that we were cutting it so close on space. We were designing for a 3x3 foot size shower. After the demolition was done, I realized it wasn't going to fit. So I had to hop back on stream. We'll do a quick highlight compilation of that where I problem solved this live. And this is how that went. I'm getting worried about space. This bathroom is so tiny. I'm so nervous about the clearance of this door. And because the tile that we got is even thicker, if I go into here, and edit the assembly, apply. So this bumps out the thickness even more, 1/8 of an inch. I'm really scared of being put in the position that we install this shower and then the door smacks the base of the shower every time it opens. I'm kind of freaking out about that. This shower might be risky. So there's a couple options. I want to try and play around with flipping this and seeing if this works, or we have to find a completely different shower spec. See, no, even with the opening. See, I was hoping that the angle would be kind of set back. So I think regardless of what we do, a 3x3 foot shower in this corner is going to cause problems. Let's try to flip it. I was a bit worried about the proximity to the toilet. This is 3 inches. How close can a toilet be to a shower? At least 15 inches of space between the shower and toilet or other obstacles. We can't swing the shower, or we can't swing the door this way. There's a bulkhead at, like, the door is like a 820 wide door, but there's a bulkhead that starts only at like 700 millimeters. I think the 36 by 36 shower kit is too big and we gotta go down to 32. But look at how small this looks. It's depressing. It's so sad. So to summarize, I really was hoping that we could make it work through some kind of reconfiguration of the bathroom. But at the end of the day, it would have probably resulted in a lot of hidden costs that weren't really necessary. When all said and done, it was just easier and made more sense to stick with the 32 by 32 inch shower, which is the size that the old / demolished shower was. So let's make a quick summary of all of the demolition occurrences that have resulted in construction pivots that we're gonna have to keep in mind moving into the construction phase. So the first one was the shower size not working, as you saw. The second was the damaged wall panels with raising the ceiling, requiring a pivot into drywalling instead of paneling. Realizing during the removal of the vanity in the demolition phase, there was a few other small plumbing improvements that we realized that we wanted to make after we did the demolition. The main one being upgrading the copper plumbing that existed in the bathroom to PEX, as well as planning to raise the height of the shower head. The fan was not properly insulated, so we realized we were going to have to do that. And we also had to do some poly repair from the demolition when we realized that the water damage and stuff had kind of compromised the poly on the exterior wall. So these are just things we're going to keep in mind, especially as we're acquiring products. We're going to Home Depot and Reno constantly, and we are about to actually build the thing. So finish acquisition and like product acquisition for this specific project, it was kind of happening in tandem with demolition. Usually I like to acquire finishes and stuff before starting any construction or demolition, just because I feel like I want it all ready to go so that I feel like I can do the project as quick as possible. Literally the same week that we demolished everything, we were getting finishes. And before we get into like the highlight compilation of this, I wanted to take a minute to explain my process for product and finish acquisition. First and foremost, I will always try to reuse or refurbish what's already existing in the space and maybe give it a facelift, maybe try and elevate it. If it can be reworked in a way without having to buy anything in the first place, perfect. That's ideal. Second, if I can't do that, I prefer thrifting anything secondhand, marketplace, Craigslist, Kijiji. Third, I will take it to the construction consignment stores and hopefully source more dead stock items. I think construction consignment is usually dead stock. Sometimes it's demolished from old projects. If none of those work, I can't find anything there, I will try and find things on sale, brand new, so that we get good prices. And then finally, if I cannot find anything at all, I will source it brand new at regular price. And that is the order of how I try to do things. You'll see that in varying degrees throughout this project. So with the product and finish acquisition for the basement, it actually started off with the wall tile. We were actually going to Home Depot to get stuff to paint a room in our basement. And while we were there, it was actually during Boxing Week, and we realized that there was a crazy blowout on tile, and specifically on larger marble tiles, which was kind of great because that was one of the styles of tiles that we were looking at doing from the design that we planned for. So it's on $259 per square foot. Actually, it's on sale. It's even more, $208 per square foot. Home Depot coming through. Wall tile. So these aren't really on sale as cheap as the other ones. Yes, this is like the style that I saw online, but now I see them in person and I think they're beveled. I actually kind of really like this one though.
Yeah.
This is like the size that you'd do the straight stack where they're all like this in a row.
Okay, wait, before you get attached to anything, is there even enough of these? Because we would need 10 over 15 cases. Right?
Dowel tile, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there might not be enough.
No, doesn't look like it.
Winner, winner. The 2x2 square marble tile was ultimately the best deal we could have got from Home Depot when we were there that day, but we opted to go with the 12 by 24. It was going to be our first time installing tile, and we didn't feel comfortable trying to navigate cutting and notching out larger format tile. We just felt like 12 by 24 inch was a better happy medium as amateur tile installers than trying to tackle the 24 by 24. So that was ultimately why we ended up with the final decision that we did. I acquired everything for this bathroom renovation in the order that we were going to do things. More so just because if, for example, we didn't know which wall tile specifically we were gonna get yet, so I held off from getting a mirror, a vanity light, all of the accessories until we knew which exact wall finish we were gonna be moving forward with. And it was kind of the same thing with the shower as well. I didn't know what kind of shower we were gonna end up with, so I didn't buy a shower head or anything until I knew what was going to complement it. So I kind of went in order of like the biggest, most prominent purchases down to the more smaller, less impactful ones. And that's kind of the order that I always tend to buy things, because construction is an adaptive design phase. We did end up with a marble tile, but maybe I would have ended up finding a really beautiful deal on a sage green tile, for example, which would have maybe resulted in a pivot into gold instead of black metal, for example. I'm gonna go to Restore today and see if I can get any good tile. I don't know if it's overstock. I don't really know what the deal is. I just know that Restore has super cheap options. Oh, my cat's here too. We can vlog with my cat. Also going to try and see what they have for lights and mirrors for the vanity. So I'm crossing our fingers that they have something good. I know that on stream we design everything down to the spec and the detail. I wanna do a disclaimer that that is merely to put together a vision or an intention, which makes it easier to source secondhand stuff. Once I have something in my mind's eye that I'm like kind of the vibe that I'm trying to go for, it makes it a lot easier to find secondhand stuff that like kind of fits in with that vibe. So we're gonna go do that today. Construction consignment stores can get really overwhelming. Like thrifting anything, you have to have a lot of patience.
We could get one of these like tiny little crystal chandeliers. Oh my god.
How big is this?
It's so small.
A lot of times they just put things on the shelf in the unlabeled cardboard boxes that they were shipped in. There will often be a product number and a manufacturer and some kind of small information. You have to get really used to looking up product codes on your phone.
Too big. You don't know what's like a door or what's a kit.
34-inch shower door.
Oh. Actually.
And a pan.
Oh.
2-piece of max 24. Okay, hold on. Here's a 32 by 32.
I will always pull up the manufacturer and the product name when I'm looking at products in the consignment store, just so I can see if they have any information of how much it costs when it's brand new, and installation instructions, and ideally just some more specification breakdowns that you might not get if you just try and pull it out of the box and take a look at it. Things like sizing dimensions, the material or finish that it's made out of, those kinds of things.
If it goes wrong, we'll find out. Fingers crossed.
We're getting the shower kit loaded into the car. Most shower kits online were like $1,600 for 32 by 32, and we found one here for $300. So we're gonna roll with it. Hopefully it's not damaged. It's a bit of a dice roll. Okay, I've been trying to source a used vanity light or mirror on Marketplace, and there's so much drop-shipped stuff ordered from China and brought here and being sold used or being sold new at a marked up price. It's really hard to wade through. So I'm back here. I'm at a different location in my city. So hopefully we have more luck here. Don't gloss over the basic, boring brown boxes. This is hands down the nicest vanity light. It is over $280 brand new, and I got it for $10. Kind of lucky because Restore was having a sale on lighting, so I ended up getting 2 options for the vanity for only $25 total. One of them I absolutely love, but it's a 4-light fixture, and the bathroom's so small, 4 lights might just be a bit too much. However, the second one I got, I think Krish is gonna laugh at me. It's actually a track light, but it's really small and it's black with kind of gold
sort of chromey or like gold shiny accents on it, but they're itty bitty, and so I was like, this might work in our tiny bathroom because it won't be too imposing. So we'll see which one we like best.
Wait, do we need mounting clips?
I don't want to use gold in the bathroom downstairs though. I think black and silver was the two metal tones that I was going for down there, but
should we just get this one for upstairs and
I wanted to
put
do
it
it
somewhere for now?
I mean, it is a good deal.
Like we could put it somewhere.
Shit, okay.
Like we
Snag
could,
in the archway
it's
mirrors.
a little-
My washroom accessories for the shower and the shelves above the toilet arrived. So I thought it would be a good opportunity to talk about how I do my absolute frickin' best to source used and thrifted accessories as often as I can. I hunted for a very long time for accessories that fit kinda what would look great in the bathroom. And I'm gonna be transparent, fam. Sometimes in the world of design, aesthetics kinda win out. I mean, it is what it is. I do my best. I really, really try. Everything from our bathroom renovations so far that I have found has been a really good frugal investment. We've had a lot of luck, especially like getting the shower from Restore, or reusing a lot of our trim, reusing our floor, reusing our vanity. I think we're gonna reuse and keep our silver hardware from previously as well. I feel very strongly that my cat's in the box, look at him, to tie together the cohesion between the black and the silver fixtures and the marble wall finish. It made the most sense to get them brand new. We can have a whole conversation about supporting unethical companies like Amazon and where that intersects with the financial budgets and restrictions of you as a buyer. I've been grappling a lot with, I guess guilt around ordering new products from Amazon. It's always the last resort on my list if I can help it. But at the end of the day, sometimes there just isn't a better option. There just isn't a better option in terms of cost and product selection. But look at these. Oh, these are gonna go in the shower. They're mounting on the wall in the shower for shampoo and for soap. There's two of them. And they just adhere to the wall. They stick to the tile with, I don't even know how they do that with this. I thought these would be a great way to bring the black fixture or the black metal from the vanity side of the bathroom into the shower, because the shower does have a silver shower head and a silver, like the shower itself has silver framing. And then these, I'm so freaking excited about these guys. These are the shelves that we're gonna do above the toilet. I don't think I talked about these shelves on stream because I think I found them after the fact. I thought that I wanted to do marble and black shelves because I thought that that would maybe be really nice to carry it through, but unfortunately I couldn't find ones that I liked, and the ones that I did sort of like were really out of budget. But what I like about this is kind of a wood, but it's white with more gray graining. And so while it's not marble, I think when it's mounted on the wall, I think it'll have a nice color variation with the grain in the wood and then the black metal to tie in the marble wall with the black finishes. Yeah, this is my one and only kind of guilty splurge for this bathroom. I feel pretty good about everything else that we got. So once we start having enough of our things, especially our finishes acquired and ready to go, that's when we can move on to the actual construction phase. Before we could actually start construction though, once we got the shower, we ran into this problem. About this shower drain. So we got a new shower pan. It was brand new shower kit. So that was super sick. And then I realized we thought that this drain was gonna run surface mounted along the top of the concrete floor of our basement. The P-trap goes here.
and then it just comes straight up. And so the problem now is this drain here from the pan before was a center drain, and our shower pan, the drain actually is off center and sits somewhere up here. Yeah, so this was a surprise that we didn't expect. You can see the new drain location will be this black dot here. Like, we're going this is 6 inches tops, my guys. This is so freaking close.
So when we originally ran into this drain problem, I definitely overthought it, specifically because I wanted to avoid doing any concrete work. And I don't know why I was so put off of concrete work. I think it just felt like it was really invasive. I think in my head, for some reason, because a concrete foundation is like 8 inches of concrete thick, in my head, I thought if we had to break slab, that it would be a lot of concrete that we have to break. But basement slabs are actually quite thin. And the hammer drill that we would have to rent to break the concrete was only $60 a day. Krish was able to break the concrete in 30 minutes of work tops. For me, I was thinking of all kinds of crazy other options. I was like, oh, maybe we just buy a whole new shower pan. Maybe we try and find some fancy plumbing part that can kind of redirect the drain at an angle, or like I was just trying to think of everything except the path of least resistance because I was afraid of it, and it ended up being one of the easiest parts of the project ever.
Other updates. We bought all this stuff to drywall. We bought new poly so we can repair this. And the last thing that we got, and I can't believe how freaking expensive it was, on top of cement board, especially in the shower, you need to do a Curdy waterproofing membrane before you can tile over top of it. So we bought that membrane today as well, and I need to find the correct substrate or like adhesive mortar that goes between that and the cement board. That was $100 for this, which kind of broke my heart. It was expensive, but yeah, breaking some floor tonight. Didn't think that this would turn into any concrete work, but here we are. And then we're gonna sand the wood tonight too. So tonight's a little bit of a messy one. I think we're gonna have a lot of debris around. Productive, slowly but surely, lots of adaptive decision making, but we are pressing forward.
Once we finished breaking the slab, we installed the shower pan. So before we did that, we made sure that we had the drain all installed and connected properly. Krish starting some plumbing upgrades. Because we cut the hole bigger to access the plumbing below, we just decided to make a whole brand new kind of plywood cover for the drain piping and stuff.
Where are all the supports?
So before we actually put down any of like the sand cement to install and level the pan, we leveled it with shims on the ground and notched it on the framing. And while we were doing this, we realized that the new shower pan that we got, even though it was 32 by 32 inches and our old one was 32 by 32 inches, the footprint was just a little bit smaller than what the old one was. So the floor finish had like a 1-inch gap that we had to get rid of. We realized that I was gonna have to uninstall and reinstall the floor in the bathroom so that the gap was gone, basically. And once the shower pan was installed and we had it at a level point, we did screw some blocking to the framing because concrete can kind of expand with the curing process. And once we were done the shower pan, we immediately started on drywall. And this bathroom was so small, drywalling was so quick, which is really great. Okay, I want to backtrack on what I talked about with the Curdy as well, which I do still think Curdy board is like the best of the best. It's the best that you can do. We ended up returning the Curdy product in favor of a different product called Aqua Defense. Krish is a home inspector. He deals with people that work in trades all the time, and he was on a job one day talking to a plumber about our bathroom renovation and the products that we were using, and the plumber actually advised Aqua Defense, which is a roll-on waterproofing membrane for cement board, specifically for its ease of install. With the Curdy board product, we would have had to use a thin set mortar and try and like adhere it to the wall. That was something that we were a bit nervous about, making it look clean. The Aqua Defense was just a little bit more approachable for us because you literally just put it in a paint tray and roll it on in, I think, 2 or 3 different layers. And you go on thick. Quick process update. We have our water membrane on the wall now, and we are tiling today. So all these tiles are laid out just to see where the start point we want is, because unfortunately this room is a little bit too wide. So with the spacing of these, if we did a 1/8 grout gap, there would be a super tiny sliver of tile on the end, on either end, and we don't really want that. So we're thinking we might try and line up with the edge of the window, which would probably be 3/4 of a tile and then 1/4 in that corner. So, and then also paying attention to which grain pattern we want for the marble. Sanding down these corners right now just to get it ready, but hopefully we'll send it soon. I didn't get any video footage of the mudding and taping process for drywall because I actually didn't help with it. Christian, a friend of ours that had experience doing drywall in the past, were able to do that during a time when I was really busy with work. We cheated a little bit by having a friend who knew about drywall help us with our drywall. So we were in a predicament. Basing the floor height here, we've done full height tiles the whole way across in order to carry that same grout line equally the whole way. Unfortunately, it is taller on this wall for some reason than a full tile. So you've seen we've shimmed this tile up by probably like an inch and a half to get to the level point, but now we're gonna have a whole gap across the bottom, so I guess the floor is not level in this bathroom, I would assume. So I think now we're just gonna look at some kind of PVC trim options to kind of cover this base point. TBD, stay tuned. I wish I could say that we were able to crank out tiling in just a weekend, but I did not realize how much time it takes to do it. I think we spent probably 5 or 6 hours perfecting the first row of tile at the base just because we knew it was so important to get it straight and aligned. This got a little bit weird in terms of timing because we ended up having access to a nail gun within a certain window of being able to borrow it from someone. So we wanted to use the nail gun to install the tongue and groove cedar on the roof. We paused at the first row, but I realized before we installed the tongue and groove cedar on the roof that I really wanted to actually paint and finish the drywall so that I wasn't having to tape off any cedar slats. This is all shadows, but we have some small pits like this that we kind of noticed after that when we, before we do our second layer tomorrow. I think we'll just go in with a little bit of mud. We've kind of paused to do all the drywall work, which is kind of what I'm finishing today with the paint. I'm using Benjamin Moore's Chantilly lace. We're just gonna do a white because we have it and we've done it in the rest of the basement, so it'll continue through. We have this pot light that Chris wired yesterday, and so we're gonna put that above the shower. It'll be nice just to get an overhead light, and then we'll have a vanity light off the wall here when we reinstall the vanity too. The drywall work looks so good. I was so scared of having visible seams, but it is so good. Havelock wool smells like sheep, and it's really hard to cut. We're insulating up here along the top and this pipe. So prior to installing the cedar slat roof, we realized that on the wall with the shower head, there wasn't going to be anything to nail the slats to hold it in place. So we had to install this blocking kind of in between the joists. Nice. Is it?
It's done.
Hey. We do have some tiles lessons learned though. The biggest one being that when you use the spacers and the levelers that you should remove them after 24 hours. That was one thing I learned. And the other thing I learned is that you should kind of chip out the mortar that seeps up between the tiles before grout within 24 hours as well. Every time we'd finish a portion of the tile, we would just let the levelers and the spacers and everything just stay on the wall until we kept going on the tile a few days later. Oh my gosh. So while we were on the tail end of the grout installation, we came downstairs and noticed that the floor was wet. And then we realized that the old toilet connection line was leaking and we couldn't make it stop. This was a huge hiccup for us because we couldn't work in the bathroom for a few days. We needed to get a product to stop the leak and then let the bathroom air out for a few days. I don't know when they put this line in or how old it was, but at least it's like a brand new one now that we know is going to function and not have this problem anymore. So that was scary. The other lesson learned with tiling, we thought we followed the instructions for grout installation pretty clearly. We had the worst grout haze problem. I thought we were following instructions and cleaning everything off as we went. We went out and bought a grout haze removal product, which like kind of worked, but still required a lot of elbow grease. And what ended up actually working the best, especially because this is a high gloss tile, was a razor. That's something I'm going to be more mindful of with in the future. And if anybody knows how to avoid this, like let me know. It's really deterring me from wanting to do tile again. We ended up using 3 kinds of caulking for this project in different places. Along the tile, we used a warm gray caulking that matched the warm gray grout color that we had. On the shower and the sink, we used a white caulking, and then around the actual shower walls and doors, we ended up using clear caulking. It's so satisfying. And then finally, when everything was waterproofed and ready, we installed the shower walls. This was when things really started to feel like they were coming together and like we were actually making progress. When that was installed, we were able to get some of the fixtures back. We got the toilet back in, we got the vanity back in. And then we were able to even start installing a lot of the accessories, like the mirror here. Yay. We gave the 4-light vanity sconce a try. We tested it. It was literally wider than the vanity was itself. Prior to actually testing it over the vanity, we did wire it in just to make sure it actually turned on in the first place. But once holding it up over the mirror and over the vanity, it just looked like the balance was off. I think it's too big. So, and with how small it is, we have tons of space on either side to do sconces like we did in the plans.
Yeah. I agree.
So
let's,
that might be more proportional with the size of this bathroom too.
Yeah.
The second vanity option that I got from Restore didn't look good either with the mirror that we ended up opting for. So we took to Facebook Marketplace and ended up finding this really beautiful double light sconce from West Elm for a really good price as well. Oh, uh-oh. The left bulb went out. Yeah, this one works. And this one, the new ones we got that are kind of cooler looking don't. So it was the type of bulb that we put in the vanity light fixture that wasn't working. It wasn't the actual light fixture itself. Once we got the mirror and the lights and stuff back in and the fixtures, we started reinstalling the older trim and we got new trim as well. Again, this was just such a pivotal point in this renovation project because it really started to feel like things were actually finished. Our existing trim is 3 inches and we bought 3.5 because that was the only size available at Reno. So now we're getting out our table saw so we can cut down all of our new trim to match the existing. It's not a lot, it's pretty much just this wall here and this little bit here, so. And once the trim was in, that was pretty much it. It was just washroom accessories left. I did not film any of the accessory installation or any of the decor stuff because you'll see in the final reveal, it pulls it all together and just makes it look so good. A lot of the accessory and the decor stuff was more just personal preference and stuff that I kind of picked up over time. And so here it all is at the end. This bathroom is stunning. It exceeded my expectations. Also, oh my god, we got this really beautiful fluted glass cabinet from IKEA. I was really concerned about the balance because we are using silver and black metal in this bathroom in tandem, but I really wanted to make sure that all of the black metal wasn't just on one side of the room. I wanted to balance it out on both sides of the room because the shower framing is silver, the shower head is silver, the faucet is silver, but all of the black metal accessories were on the vanity side, the mirror, the light, the shelving. I was racking my brain with how I could carry it over, and so the shelving in the shower and the fluted glass cabinet I think do a great job in just balancing out both sides of the room and making it look a lot more evenly dispersed. So I think it's stunning. It's so nice to be in here now. My favorite part of DIY work is seeing the difference between what I had designed previously and how it actually manifests in real life. I think it's one of the coolest parts of my job. I love seeing things in the 3D space digitally turn into an actual physical space. So we see how beautiful this washroom is, but the big question mark here is how much did it actually cost? When we were pricing this bathroom renovation, we did it in 3 options. Check out part 1 of the video where we broke those down and what they were. We are guesstimating our total comes to around $23.90. That is still under budget. We wanted our final project budget to be under $2,500, so I'm kind of freaking out. But we'll see. This is kind of the moment of truth to figure out how well we did. I'll replace the prices of these as I go too. So there were some things that we thought we were going to use, like the Curdy waterproofing membrane, that we swapped out for a different product after talking to professionals. Look at this. There's so many. And then what I'll do at the end is I'll add the tacks and stuff. I'll organize this too and maybe save this as like a breakdown if anybody in the comments wants to see everything that we bought. Okay, this is coming along. I'm so pleased actually so far. Okay, this is everything. Drum roll. When all's said and done, our budget for this project was $2,500 Canadian and we came in at $26.23. So $123 over budget. To be honest, I'm not super mad about it. I know what pushed us over budget was the cabinet that we got for the bathroom, and that was the $229 purchase. We did okay. Could you imagine though if we didn't find the $300 shower? Oh my god. $226, $23. So that's it, that's all. That is our basement bathroom renovation, parts 1, and now the conclusion of part 2. You saw how we designed it. This is how we built it. It was so much fun. I can't wait to do our next project. If you're curious in the entirety of the process, especially on the design side, I do have all of my Twitch VODs in a Twitch VOD playlist on my YouTube channel here. And if you are curious in my upcoming DIY work, I am working on my upstairs main floor renovation on Twitch at this time, as well as my upstairs bathroom renovation. So if that is something that you're interested in keeping up with, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and give me a follow on Twitch. I love hanging out there. If you have any design ideas and input, I want to hear it. You can talk to me directly there. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Bye!